The asteroid cracked. It did not just break into two pieces. It shattered into 1,000,000 tiny rocks. The force of Gohan's punch sent a shockwave through the vacuum of space. The shockwave was pink and white. It looked like a ripple in a pond. But the pond was the universe. Natron Shenron, who was merged with the asteroid, screamed. But in space, no one could hear him scream. He just vibrated. The giant rock face crumbled away. The metal dragon inside was thrown backwards. He spun out of control. He crashed into a small moon nearby. Dust flew up from the moon surface. Gohan did not stop. He didn't smile. He was in the divine beast form. This form made him calm. It made him focused. He looked at his hand. There was no pain. His skin was harder than the hardest metal in the universe. He turned his head to the left. Rage Shenron was there. The small, pink, slimy dragon was glowing with yellow electricity. Rage Shenron was shocked. He had never seen anyone break Natron's defense with one hit. Natron was supposed to be the ultimate shield, but Gohan broke him like a cookie. Rage Shenron got angry. He puffed up his cheeks. Sparks flew from his slime. He shouted, "You broke my brother. You stupid monkey. Take this." Rage Shenron opened his mouth. A bolt of lightning shot out. It was not normal lightning. It was negative energy lightning. It was black and yellow. It moved at the speed of light. It aimed right for Gohan's heart. Gohan saw it coming. He did not dodge. He simply raised his left hand. He caught the lightning. The bolt hit his palm. It sizzled. It tried to burn him. It tried to stop his heart. But Gohan squeezed his hand. The pink aura around him flared up. It ate the lightning. It dissolved the negative energy. Gohan crushed the bolt into sparks. He looked at Rage Shenron. "Is that it?" Gohan asked. His voice was transmitted directly into the dragon's mind. "Is that all the power of a shadow dragon?" Rage Shenron shivered. He felt fear. He looked at the super dragon balls floating behind Gohan. They were huge orange planets. They were the prize. But Gohan was a wall that could not be climbed. "Natron, get up!" Rage Shenron yelled telepathically. "Help me!" On the moon below, Natron Shenron crawled out of the crater. He was angry. His metal body was dented. He looked at the ground. He saw the moon. It was full of rocks. It was full of earth. He smiled. "I am the dragon of earth," Natron said. "I can absorb anything." He placed his hands on the moon surface. His body turned into liquid. He sank into the ground. The whole moon began to shake. It began to change shape. The crater closed. Two giant eyes opened on the surface of the moon. A giant mouth formed. The moon stood up on legs made of mountains. Natron had possessed the entire moon. Gohan looked down. The moon was now a giant monster. It was thousands of times bigger than Gohan. It roared. The roar was a gravity wave. It pushed Gohan back a few inches. "Now I will crush you," the moon dragon shouted. It raised a fist the size of a continent. It punched at Gohan. Gohan floated there. He looked like a speck of dust against the giant fist. But he did not move. He took deep breath. He centered his energy. He remembered the training in the void. He remembered the weight of the bridge. "Size doesn't matter," Gohan whispered. "Only density matters." Gohan pulled his fist back. He focused all his divine ki into a single point on his knuckles. The pink light turned white. It became heavy. Dragon God. Uppercut. Gohan flew up. He met the giant fist. His tiny fist hit the giant moon fist. Boom! The impact was blinding. For a second, everything stopped. Then the moon fist exploded. The cracks traveled down the arm of the moon monster. They traveled to the body. The moon dragon looked surprised. His giant stone face cracked. "Impossible," he shouted. The entire moon shattered. It exploded into dust and gravel. Naturon Shenron was thrown out of the core. He was unconscious. He floated in space, defeated. Gohan grabbed Naturon by the tail. He looked at Rage Shenron. "Your turn," Gohan said. Rage Shenron panicked. He tried to run away. He flew towards the Super Dragon Balls. He wanted to hide behind them. But Gohan was too fast. Gohan appeared in front of him. Gohan kicked Rage Shenron in the stomach. The slimy dragon folded in half. He vomited purple sludge. Gohan grabbed him by the neck. He held both dragons. He flew down to a nearby asteroid that was still intact. He threw them onto the rock. "Stay there," Gohan ordered. He raised his hand. He created a cage of pink light bars around them. "Don't move until I decide what to do with you." Gohan looked at the Super Dragon Balls. They were safe, but he felt uneasy. This was too easy. These dragons were weak. Haze was weak. Natron was clumsy. Rage was a coward. If these were the shadow dragons, why was the universe dying? Gohan looked into the deep darkness of space. He felt a pull towards the planet of the Kais. Piccolo, Gohan thought. Be careful. Meanwhile, on the planet of the Kais in Universe 6, it was usually a green and beautiful place. It was a place of life. But now, it was a frozen wasteland. The sky was grey, snow was falling heavily. The sacred trees were covered in ice. The rivers were frozen solid. It was cold, so cold that it hurt to breathe. Piccolo stood on a hill. He was in his orange form. His skin was warm. His aura acted like a heater. Beside him stood Kaba. Kaba was shivering. His Saiyan armor was not made for this cold. His teeth chattered. As to Piccolo, Kaba stammered, "I can't feel my toes." "Focus your Kai," Piccolo said sternly. "Use your energy to warm your blood. If you stop focusing, you will freeze to death." Piccolo looked around. He could not sense the enemy. The ice scrambled his senses. "He is here," Piccolo said. "I can smell him. He smells like old winter." Suddenly, a laugh echoed through the snowy valley. It was a cruel, scratching laugh. "Welcome, guests," a voice hissed. "Welcome to my kingdom of Zero." Out of the snowstorm, a figure appeared. It was Ice Shenron. Ice Shenron. He was dark blue. He was sleek and sharp. His eyes were milky white. He floated above the frozen lake. He looked at Piccolo. He looked at Kaba. "A Namekian and a monkey," Ice Shenron sneered. "How boring. I was hoping for a challenge." "Where are the Kais?" Piccolo demanded. "What have you done with them?" Ice Shenron pointed a claw at the frozen lake. "They are resting. Look." Piccolo looked down. Under the thick ice of the lake, he saw faces. It was Fuwa, the Supreme Kai, and his attendants. They were frozen in blocks of ice. They looked terrified. Their eyes were open. "They are alive," Ice Shenron said. "For now. But if you try to melt the ice, the thermal shock will shatter them. If you attack me, I will shatter them. You are trapped." Piccolo grit his teeth. This dragon was smart, and he was dirty. He held hostages. Kaba looked at the Kais. "We have to save them," Kaba yelled. He turned Super Saiyan. The golden aura melted the snow around his feet. He charged at Ice Shenron. "Let them go." "No, Kaba, wait," Piccolo shouted. But Kaba was too angry. He flew at the dragon. Ice Shenron did not move. He just smiled. When Kaba got close, Ice Shenron opened his mouth. Absolute zero beam. A beam of white energy shot out. It hit Kaba's arm. Instantly, the golden aura vanished from that arm. The arm turned blue, then white. It was frozen solid. Kaba screamed. He fell out of the air. He crashed into the snow. He held his frozen arm. It was heavy like a rock. He couldn't move it. Foolish child, Ice Shenron laughed. Heat means nothing to me. I do not just make things cold. I stop atoms. I stop energy. Your Super Saiyan fire is just fuel for my ice. Piccolo jumped down. He landed in front of Kaba. He put a hand on Kaba's shoulder. He sent a pulse of warm energy into the boy. The ice on Kaba's arm cracked a little, but it didn't melt. Stay back, Piccolo said. He counters energy attacks. You can't beat him with blasts. Piccolo stood up. He expanded his muscles. He grew taller. The orange form pulsed. You want to fight dirty? Piccolo asked. Fine, I can play that game. Ice Shenron flew down. He landed on the ice. Come then, Namekian. Let's see if you break as easily as the others. Piccolo charged. He didn't use a beam. He used his fist. He punched Ice Shenron in the face. The dragon slid back on the ice. Ice Shenron was fast. He spun around and slashed at Piccolo with his claws. His claws were made of black ice. They cut Piccolo's chest. The wound didn't bleed. It froze instantly. Piccolo winced. The cold was seeping into his bones. My claws poison your blood with frost, Ice Shenron gloated. Every cut makes you slower. Soon, you will be a statue. Piccolo didn't stop. He stretched his arms. He grabbed Ice Shenron's wings. He pulled the dragon close. If I'm going to freeze, Piccolo growled, I'm taking you with me. Piccolo's eyes glowed red. Hellzone grenade. Piccolo fired hundreds of energy balls into the air. They surrounded the dragon. But Ice Shenron just laughed. I told you, energy doesn't work. Ice Shenron spun around. He created a blizzard. The wind blew the energy balls away. They froze and fell to the ground like marbles. I didn't aim for you, Piccolo said. Ice Shenron looked confused. What? Piccolo smirked. I aimed for the reflection. The energy balls on the ground started to glow. They weren't attacking. They were heating up. They were melting the snow on the ground, creating steam. Thick, hot fog rose up. It blinded the dragon. Ice Shenron couldn't see. A smoke screen. Petty tricks. Piccolo appeared through the fog. He was right behind the dragon. He wrapped his arms around Ice Shenron in a bear hug. Piccolo's body began to burn. He turned his energy into pure heat. Body burn, Piccolo shouted. His orange skin turned bright red. The ice on Ice Shenron's body began to drip. Let go, Ice Shenron screamed. You are burning me. That's the point, Piccolo yelled. Kaba, now, kick him. Kaba stood up. His arm was useless, but his legs were strong. He saw the opening. He channeled all his remaining power into his legs. He jumped. He spun in the air. Gallic, kick. He kicked Ice Shenron right in the chest, where the ice was melting. The impact cracked the dragon's scales. Ice Shenron howled in pain. Piccolo let go. He grabbed Ice Shenron's tail. He swung him around and slammed him into the side of the mountain, away from the frozen lake. Stay away from the hostages, Piccolo roared. Ice Shenron climbed out of the rocks. He was furious. His sleek body was scratched and dripping. You ruined my finish, he screamed. Fine, no more games. I will freeze this entire planet to the core. Ice Shenron flew up high. He gathered energy from the atmosphere. A giant ball of ice formed above him. It was jagged and sharp. Piccolo looked at Kaba. He's going to drop that on the planet. If it hits, the shockwave will kill the Kais. What do we do? Kaba asked. I have to catch it, Piccolo said. It's too big, Kaba said. It will crush you. I am the Orange Guardian, Piccolo said. I don't break. Piccolo flew up. He flew directly under the giant ice ball. He expanded his size. Giant orange Piccolo. He grew to the size of a skyscraper. He raised his hands. The ice ball fell. Piccolo caught it. Crack! The ground beneath Piccolo shattered from the weight. His knees bent. The ice was incredibly heavy, and it was freezing. His hands started to turn white. The frost was spreading down his arms. "Die, Namekian," Shenron shouted, pushing the ball down. Piccolo groaned. "Kaba, finish him." Kaba looked at his master holding the sky. He looked at the dragon. He felt a surge of respect. He felt a surge of rage. His Saiyan blood boiled. The ice on his arm shattered. He regained feeling. "I won't let you down," Kaba screamed. He flew past Piccolo. He flew past the ice ball. He flew straight at Shenron. Shenron was focused on crushing Piccolo. He didn't see the boy coming. Kaba appeared in front of him. Kaba's fist was glowing with golden light. "This is for Universe 6. Kaba punched Shenron in the nose, then in the stomach, then in the chest. A flurry of blows. Shenron lost concentration. The ice ball stopped pushing down. Kaba finished with a double-handed blast. Gallic gun. The purple beam hit the dragon point blank. Shenron was blasted out of the sky. He crashed into the frozen forest. Piccolo shouted. He pushed the ice ball up. He threw it into space. It flew away and exploded harmlessly in orbit. Piccolo shrank back down. He fell to his knees, panting. The frost on his arms melted. Kaba landed next to him. "Did we win?" Piccolo looked at the forest. There was no movement. "For now. But don't let your guard down." Meanwhile, on the metal planet in Universe 6, this planet was the opposite of the Kai world. It was a giant factory. The ground was made of iron plates. There was no nature, only pipes, steam, and furnaces. The core of the planet was a giant engine. It was unbearably hot. The air shimmered with heat waves. Broly, Cauliflower, and Kale stood on a platform overlooking a sea of molten metal. Cauliflower was sweating buckets. Her hair was plastered to her forehead. "It's so hot," she complained. "I feel like I'm being cooked." Kale was not doing well either. She looked dizzy. "Sis, I don't feel good." Broly was fine. He was shirtless. His skin was tough. He looked around curiously. He liked the heat. It reminded him of Vampa's lava pits. "Where is the dragon?" Cauliflower asked, wiping her eyes. "Here," a calm voice said. From the molten metal sea, a figure rose. It was Nuova Shenron, the sun dragon. He was gold and red. He had a glass-like armor that contained a burning fire inside. He floated up to the platform. He did not look like a monster. He looked like a knight. "I am Nuova," the dragon said. "I was waiting for you." He looked at Broly. "You are strong. The heat does not bother you." "Broly strong," Broly nodded. "And you too," Nuova looked at the girls. "You are suffering. This battlefield is not fair for you." Nuova Shenron raised his hand. He snapped his fingers. A bubble of cool air formed around Cauliflower and Kale. "There, that should make it bearable. I want a fair fight." Cauliflower blinked. Did the bad guy just give us AC? "He has honor," Kale whispered. "I don't care about honor," Cauliflower shouted. "I'm going to kick his butt." She turned Super Saiyan 2. She charged at Nuova. She threw a punch. Nuova caught it. His hand was hot. It burned Cauliflower's knuckles. "Ow!" She pulled back. "You are fast," Nuova said. "But your attacks are light." Nuova punched Cauliflower in the stomach. He didn't use full force. He just pushed her back. Cauliflower flew into a pile of pipes. "Sis," Kel shouted. She turned legendary Super Saiyan. Her hair turned green. She grew huge. She roared. She attacked Nuova. Nuova dodged her wild swings. Too slow. Too much anger. Nuova kicked Kale in the back. She crashed next to Cauliflower. Broly watched this. His eyes narrowed. He didn't like seeing his friends get hurt. His breathing got heavy. "Leave them alone," Nuova looked at Broly. Finally, the main event. Broly roared. He turned Super Saiyan. His golden aura mixed with the green tint. He flew at Nuova. They clashed, fist against fist. The impact shook the metal planet. Broly was strong, but Nuova was hotter. Every time they touched, Broly's skin sizzled. But Broly didn't stop. He ignored the pain. He punched Nuova in the face. Nuova flew back. Nuova smiled. Good. Very good. Nuova's body began to glow brighter. But can you handle the temperature of the sun? Nuova unleashed his full heat. The metal platform melted instantly. They were flying over the lava. The air turned into plasma. Cauliflower and Kale had to fly up higher to escape the heat. Broly is burning, Kale cried. Broly's skin was turning red. The heat was overwhelming. He was screaming in rage and pain. The pain made him stronger. His muscles grew. He was losing control. His pupils vanished. He was entering his full berserker state. Rah! Broly fired a green energy mouth blast. It was massive. Nuova crossed his arms. Burning spin! Nuova spun around inside a tornado of fire. He deflected the blast. He flew through the green energy. He slammed into Broly. They crashed into the lava ocean. Cauliflower gasped. Broly! Minutes passed. The lava bubbled. Then, an explosion of green light erupted from the sea. Broly flew out. He was holding Nuova by the tail. Broly was glowing with green energy shields. He had adapted. His energy was protecting him from the heat. He swung Nuova around and threw him into a factory tower. The tower collapsed. Broly floated in the air, panting like a beast. He was ready to kill. Nuova rose from the rubble. His glass armor was cracked. He wiped a streak of golden blood from his mouth. Magnificent, Nuova said. A warrior who evolves in battle. Nuova prepared his final attack. He formed a lens of heat in his hands. Nova Death Ray. Broly prepared his final attack. He formed a giant green sphere. Omega Blaster. They were about to fire. But suddenly, the sky of the metal planet turned black. A hologram appeared in the sky. It was the masked man. Enough, the masked man's voice boomed. Stop playing, Nuova. Bring me the energy. Nuova looked up. I'm in the middle of a duel. I said enough. The masked man pressed a button on his console. A shock collar on Nuova's neck, which no one had noticed, activated. It zapped him with dark electricity. Nuova screamed. His eyes turned red. He lost his free will. He lost his honor. He became a puppet. Kill them, the masked man ordered. Nuova roared. It wasn't a noble roar anymore. It was a monster's roar. He aimed the death ray at Cauliflower and Kale, not Broly. He knew Broly would defend them. It was a cheap shot. No! Broly shouted. He flew in front of the girls. The death ray hit Broly in the chest. It pierced him. Broly gasped. He fell out of the sky. Broly! Cauliflower screamed. Back in the demon realm. The masked man laughed. Perfect. The Saiyan's rage is peaking. The energy is delicious. He looked at a giant containment tank in the center of his lab. Inside the tank, a small, white, one-horned dragon was sleeping. It was Sin Shenron. The tank was filling up with red liquid. It was energy harvested from the battles, from Kaba's rage, from Broly's pain, from Gohan's fights. Wake up, King of Destruction, the masked man whispered. The table is set. Back in space. Gohan felt it. He felt Broly's energy drop. He felt the shift in the universe. It was a trap, Gohan realized. They wanted us to fight. They wanted us to release energy. He looked at the two dragons in his cage. They were grinning. Too late, hero, Rage Shenron giggled. Father is waking up. Gohan clenched his fist. Not if I stop him first. Gohan turned to the cage. I'm ending this. Now. He raised his hand. Dragon God. Purification. A blinding white light engulfed the cage. The two dragons screamed as their negative energy was washed away. They dissolved into nothingness, not dead, but returned to the Dragon Balls as neutral energy. Gohan tapped his communicator. Piccolo, Broly, get out of there. Retreat to the cube. Something big is coming. We can't. Cauliflower's voice crackled over the radio. She was crying. Broly is hurt. He took a hit for us. We can't move him. Gohan's eyes widened. I'm coming. Gohan locked onto Broly's energy. He prepared to warp. But then, the entire universe shook. Not a planet. The universe. A shadow fell over everything. The stars went dark. In the demon realm, the tank shattered. Sin Shenron stepped out. He was white and blue. He had long spikes on his back. He was not big like Natron. He was small, compact. But his power was infinite. He took a deep breath. I am awake, Sin Shenron said. His voice was deep and terrifying. He looked at the masked man. You have served me well, mortal. The masked man bowed. My lord, the multiverse is yours. Sin Shenron raised a finger. A beam of energy shot out. It disintegrated the masked man instantly. I do not serve mortals, Sin Shenron said. I rule them. Sin Shenron walked to the balcony. He looked out at the universe. Now bring me the balls, all of them. In space, the 7 Super Dragon Balls began to glow black. They were responding to their master. They began to move. They flew away from Gohan. They flew at warp speed towards the demon realm. Gohan tried to grab one, but a shockwave of black energy pushed him back. No, Gohan shouted. The Dragon Balls were gone. Sin Shenron had them, and with them, he could wish for the end of everything. Gohan floated alone in the dark. The trap had sprung. The shadow dragons were just the pawns. The king was here. And Gohan was the only piece left on the board who could stop him. Gohan tapped his earpiece again. His voice was cold and serious. Everyone, meet at the cube coordinates. Immediately. We have lost the battle. He paused. Now we have to fight for survival. The screen fades to black as Gohan stares into the void, his red eyes glowing with a desperate resolve. The Shadow King has risen. The Super Dragon Balls are captured. Can the wounded hero stand against the ultimate evil? Find out in the next episode.